Right, so I did say that I was going to merge the next batch of books that I get for my next haul in with the haul that I showed off yesterday, but I've read all the books that I showed off yesterday, so I figure, the video that I filmed yesterday went up today, will be yesterday as of going up. The life of someone who does YouTube and films on different days, as to, I don't understand how people can film, edit and upload a video all in the same day, because for me my editing software takes basically a day just to render a video. Maybe the files that I'm using are too big, maybe something along those lines. But without further ado, let's talk about the books that I read. I want to start off with Captain America numbers 4 and 5. I'm going to talk about both of them together because I read both of them this week. I'm just really into this series. I think I know what to expect. I understand. I know where it's going. Kind of the next issue is the last one of this arc, so I'm just excited to see where it goes, and I'm just enjoying the ride. At the moment, we get less of the like J. Michael Straczynski speech stuff, and we get more of like a jokey, quippy Captain America, and he's almost writing Cap not dissimilarly to how he writ Spider-Man. Whether that's the voice that you like for Captain America or not, I don't know, but I don't mind it. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like how Chris Evans plays Captain America in the movies. I think this is even more quippy than that. But this version of Captain America is very much more light-hearted, even though the story surrounding it isn't. It is a dark story, and it is still, very political, which a Captain America book always ends up being. Which I'm not against in any way either. I'm just saying that the way Captain America is written in this, the way that Steve is written in this, and even the way that a lot of the other characters in this are written, they are still very quippy, and they seem very not jovial, but there's a moment in the first issue in issue 4, where Cap is like he's developed a method of finding out the power scale of someone that he hasn't fought before, or like determining how strong a new threat, new villain is that he hasn't seen or fought before. And it's a level-based system, a 1, 2, 3, and what the hell is that? And he's like, I call it the ham sandwich. Why do I call it that? Because it's my thing and I can call it what I want. Essentially just like, because I'm Captain America, I can do what I want. And that kind of, I haven't quite gathered whether that's a thing that I like or a thing that I don't yet. I'm enjoying the actual story that's being presented. We get more on the villain, Asmodee. We get more of this this flashback story. We actually get more on just how beat up and ill Steve Rogers was before he got the super soldier serum, and basically we find out that if Steve didn't get the serum, he would have died very young because of all of the conditions that he had. The movie, if you watch the movies, he only had asthma and was small. Here he's got cholera, astigmatism, he's deaf in one ear. A lot of things going against Steve Rogers. So yeah, it's a book that I'm enjoying very much so, and I think the reason why I'm talking about it first, not because these are the worst books of the week, far from it. There was not a bad book this week. I feel like I'm saying that once again. But yeah, not a single bad book this week. However, we are finding that a lot of books, once they get to their issue 4 or 5, getting into the end of the first arc of a book, for some books, it does feel like you know what you're getting in for. You enjoy it. You just enjoy the ride now. And that's much the same for Daredevil, number 5. The cover isn't a lie. A lot of times when a cover is like this, it's a lie. This book actually is Daredevil fights She-Hulk. She-Hulk is the next of a long line of characters that have been possessed by demons, and in this issue, we actually find out that the demons possessing Matt Murdock's friends and colleagues are the 7 deadly sins. One of which being sloth, one of which being envy, and in this issue, She-Hulk, Jen Walters, is possessed by gluttony. So she takes Matt Murdock around the town, eating pretty much everything in sight. So when it comes to when they eventually end up butting heads, Matt is overwhelmed by the amount of food he's eaten. And yeah, I like where this story's going. This specific issue was just fine, I think, for me. But this idea of Daredevil, who is a highly Christian character, and now in a point of his life where he's even more tapped into his Catholicism than ever before. He's a practicing father at a youth church. Is a really interesting idea to have him go up against the 7 deadly sins. And I always like a Daredevil story where it does envelop his Catholicism as well, and it does tap into the religious side of Daredevil, and I think playing with the themes of stuff in the Bible and translating that into Daredevil's Rogues Gallery or into a Daredevil story is really fun, and I really like that because there's a lot of stuff. Bible's a big book. There's a lot of stuff in that book to take and to turn into fun stories for Daredevil to deal with. So yeah, Daredevil number 5. It's just setting up the pieces for a really fun Daredevil story, and we haven't dealt with Daredevil dealing with actual straight up stuff from the Bible yet that I know of. The closest thing I can think of is Guardian Devil, which is a really old storyline, still very good, still great, but has a lot of themes of Daredevil being delivered the Antichrist, Daredevil trying to kill a baby. I promise it's a great story. Let's talk about Black Panther number 8. This is a great series. Guest character Monet. Not a character that I'm super aware of, and also this issue doesn't get me on side with that character. She's in it for very little of the book. They do still fight, but it doesn't get me into. It doesn't get me to be like, I really want to read where she's from now. I don't, but sure. Yeah. I think the best thing about the Marvel Universe is that it's interconnected, and is that whoever can show up in whatever book whenever they want. And whenever a writer wants to write a character, they can put them in that book. Given that it makes sense for the story, makes sense with their continuity, and that character isn't in space when the writer wants them to show up in something else. But this issue's just plodding the story forward, and it doesn't really answer too many questions, but I think this is just the calm before the storm. We've got a lot of... the next few issues are basically the conclusion of this first story arc. I'm not sure how long this book's going on for. I hope a lot longer than the last run on Black Panther, but it's going in a really good direction, and I hope it sticks the landing, or I hope this first story sticks the landing anyways. And talk about the Flash number 5, the penultimate issue of this first arc. I think the Flash is definitely going on for a lot longer than 6. Yeah, I'm just really into this Flash book. I've been reading a Flash book for 5 issues and I'm still loving it. I don't know if I'm 100% on board with Mike Deodato Jr.'s artwork. It does seem... I know the book is going for a more dark, existential theme, or going with a darker, more existential themes for the actual story, but I'm not 100% on the way that Gorilla Grodd is drawn. I'm not 100%... I like the way that the Flash looks, but everything does seem very monotone and very dark. Maybe for the story, but, some of the stuff in this is a bit hard to actually decipher what's going on in it. That being said, this issue focuses on Wally's son, Jai. I think it's either Jai or J, spelled Jai. It would make sense if it's J, because Jay Garrick, but I don't know. It's my first time reading a Flash book, I'll be honest. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I really liked this issue because, again, it kind of hit me in a way, the same way that Ultimate Spider-Man last week hit me. This kind of hit me in the same way, where it's a character that very much doesn't feel like they're in their own skin, feels like the world is out to get them, or, has, chronic anxiety, and it's like, that's a place that I've been as well. So, when you can relate to a book in that way, I feel like it does kind of, it does kind of transcend other books. The only reason why this isn't my pick of the week is because another book came out this week that was just technically great. It was just technically a much better book. But this did kind of connect with me in a way that I didn't think The Flash would. And also the way that the book ends, and going into the next issue, I'm very excited to see where it goes, obviously. Avengers Twilight is my pick of the week. Chip Zdarsky, I think everything I've read of Chip Zdarsky has been a win. This included. It's Spider-Man Reign. It's The Dark Knight Returns. It's The Last Ronin from the Ninja Turtles. It's Captain America is old. He doesn't have his super soldier serum anymore. There was a big event that wiped out all of the superheroes, or put most of the world's superheroes into hiding. Spider-Man died during that event, which I think is great because it would overshadow the book, I think, if Spider-Man was still around in the future, I think, or in the current time. We've got a villain being set up who is Tony Stark's son. The Avengers have been kind of bastardized and turned into this like police state, or like secret police. So we've got a Thor, a Captain America, a Iron Man, but they're not doing the work that the Avengers are meant to be doing. And Steve is seeing the world through this canvas, or he's kind of this just old man who is seeing the world being turned into something that he despises, and he sees a news coverage thing for a new like a trailer for a new docu-series going into how the Red Skull wasn't actually evil and was trying to overthrow Adolf Hitler from the inside, and he was like an inside plant, and he was trying to topple the Nazi Empire from the inside out. That entire sentence has probably got this video demonetized. I don't get paid anyway, so I don't care. It's what the book's about. So Cap goes on the news to be interviewed and be like, "This is horrible. You're making a show about one of the most evil men in history, someone that I personally have spent most of my life trying to combat, and you're going to hail him as some kind of hero, as some kind of like you're trying to hail him as this thing that America got wrong, and that's not right." So and we've got Luke Cage in this. Matt Murdock gets killed off screen, which obviously I'm a bit you're gonna kill my favourite character off screen, what the hell's wrong with you? But by the end of this book, Steve is walking home and he sees these youths skateboarding, and they're filming themselves, and these people dressed as Captain America go up to the youths and are like, you can't use phones, you can't take pictures, what are you doing? And you're out past curfew, we're going to put you in jail. And Steve's like, I'm not having any of this. Goes up to them and just starts a fight, gets beaten the shit out of, and masked characters save Cap. Cap comes to in front of Luke Cage, and Luke is basically like, we've got an offer, we know that you still want to go out there and fight the good fight. We have the super soldier serum, or we have our own version of the super soldier serum. If you want to, we will give it to you. And so he does, and at the end of the issue, he's like, I'm putting the gang back together. I'm gonna reassemble the Avengers. And I love that this is a Captain America book, first and foremost. I love that this is just about Cap. I know that Miss Marvel's going to be in later issues. I know that the next issue is going to be primarily centered around Iron Man. I don't know how that's going to work. And I don't think that that James Stark, Tony's son, is going to get redeemed. I think he's straight up going to be the villain of the story. I've seen things float around that Steve's wife in this, who's not Sharon, it's Rosa, which is weird for me. I'm like, what happened to Sharon? Where is Sharon in this timeline? Also, I'm interested to see what's happened to, like, Thor, and where's Hulk in this predicament, because they're like, most of the destruction on H-Day, which is the event that kind of outlawed or made all of the superheroes go away, a lot of the destruction of that was down to Bruce Banner, the Hulk. So where is the Hulk now? At this point, is there a new Hulk? You know, and when they bring Kamala or whoever Miss Marvel is in the future, what's going to have happened about all the other Avengers? You know, where's Hawkeye? Where's you know, I already mentioned Thor, but where's like Hercules and stuff like that? Is the story gonna go on to that? What's going on with the Fantastic Four? What's going on with the X-Men in this universe? You know, are we gonna touch on that? Luke Cage is using the title of the Defenders, but like Iron Fist, Kunlun, Jessica Jones. Where's Jessica Jones? Has she died? Yeah, there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of things to theorize. I've seen a lot of people theorize that Rosa is a plant, a la Total Recall. That would be fun, but I don't know. It'd be fun to see that, and I don't know how long this book's going to go on for. I don't know how many issues it is or how many books it is. But it would be a lot of fun if that is the case. But also, I don't think it needs to be. I would love this to just be like an Avengers version of the Dark Knight Returns. I'd love this to just be a Dark Knight Returns story for Captain America or for the Avengers. But yeah, or like just a Marvel Universe Dark Knight Returns, because that's essentially what this is being slated as. It's essentially what this is being billed as. So I'm in there. I'm in it for the long haul with this. Really excited to see what the second issue is all about. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of the books that you read, that I read this week. If you did read Avengers Twilight, which I know is the big book that came out recently. A lot of big books in January already. Avengers Twilight and Ultimate Spider-Man, both starting this month. Got Ultimate Black Panther next month to look forward to, which I am very much looking forward to. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you thought of what you've been thinking of Daredevil. Let me know what you've been thinking of The Flash, Black Panther, Captain America, all that stuff. And I'll be back in the next video in a few days' time with another comic book haul I might be back with something if some news comes up later on in the month or later on in the week. I don't know. I'll see you guys then. Peace.